what makes me proud of my dad? Quite a few things. I think like right now, off the top of my head, because it's my profession, it's something I feel called to do, it's what I love to do, is to be a pastor. And so my dad is a pastor, and I've learned tons from him. I've seen his demeanor always be strong and be a man that is humble, and it's something that I can look up to, because in one way or another I've always seen God come through for him, which is what I hold on to, right? That God is always going to be there for me. It's not about the limelight, it's about service and what God has called him to do. So I have a great example in that sense.
Many things, but the first that comes to mind is his spirit of service and how dedicated he is to his job. But the thing is that his job involves a lot of service, so it might be tough to get tired of helping people and all that, but he still finds time to do so separately, and I admire that greatly. I want to be more like that, more service driven for sure.
Well, let me just first say that my dad passed away on September 24th of last year. But what I'm most proud of, as his son, is the fact he was very supportive, very protective of all of us. He has 7 kids, 5 boys, 2 girls in my family. And, he was always there. He was always present. Whenever we needed defending, he was there. Whenever there was nothing too good for him to do for us, he was never too busy. So, he was always a very present, supportive father.
Many things. But I think what makes me the most proud of my dad is the great sacrifice that he made when he brought us here all from Cuba. When my dad had an aunt living here in the States that sponsored us, and back in 1965 he presented the paperwork to come to the States, and the next day after, he was asked to voluntarily resign from his work. And not soon after, he was taken by the government to do work, no different than in a concentration camp, together with people of all walks of life, doctors, attorneys, professionals, and they were doing hard labor. And it just got progressively worse, that they would take him farther and farther away from our home, and staying away longer and longer periods of time, until we finally, it took 5 years for the Cuban government to give us the permission, the visa to leave Cuba. And so, unfortunately, a lot of husbands, a lot of men and fathers did not accept that challenge because they knew it was going to be very hard for them. They were going to lose their work, their income, and there was going to be a lot of sacrifice.
My father was a pastor and an evangelist. I saw in him a dedication. Once he accepted God, it was all the way. Not halfway, but all the way. He sacrificed everything to serve God, and he was the one who taught me that, serving God is a lifestyle. You don't stop serving him, and it's always an honor and a privilege to serve him. So that's what I'm carrying in my heart right now. When you serve God, it's all the way. You don't look back.
My dad, he was very generous with his time and his money. Also very proud of the fact that, he passed away already, but he didn't have the opportunity to go to university. He went to a trade school. He was an airplane mechanic, but education for him was a lifelong pursuit. He could talk to anybody about anything. So it was incredible for me, having a dad talk to, for example, university professors about astronomy, politics, just an incredible fountain of knowledge. That's something I'm pretty proud of.
One thing
Oh my gosh, my dad is, he will find any avenue to share the love of Jesus. There will be nothing to stop him, and he will do so in a way that the people that maybe don't normally hear the love of Jesus, they get to hear it because of him.
My dad passed away 3 years ago, and he was the best father in the world. He was very kind. He worked very hard for me and for my sister. He spent a lot of time with us, and for me he was the best example, trusting God. He trusts God in any situation. His life was not very easy, but he just showed us he trusts God. He prayed every time. He showed us what we can do in this situation when this situation coming up in our life. And I missed him. I love him.
For being the dad that he is, for trying to be with us, even though he was a truck driver, he was on the road a lot. We didn't get to see him except for the weekends, and it was hard to have a good relationship with him because of that. But as we kids got older, it became easier for us to interact with him.
Well, my dad's a very hard worker. He's very dedicated to what he does, so I admire that in him. He's always willing to help somebody. No matter what time it is, what the problem is, he's always available. So I'm proud of that.
My dad, he spent time with us. Even though he worked at night, he would make sure that he would wake up around 3 o'clock to meet my sister and I. And he would take us to the park. He would have a snack for us, and he would just spend time with us, because after dinner, he would go to work, and he worked all night. So I'm proud of that. That's a memory that I will cherish.
Any regrets of things that so in South America, there are some countries that drink mate, or the cold version of that is a cold brewed tea. And he used to work outside on Sundays making different cabinets and things like that. And I would be the one in charge of serving the cold brewed tea. And basically what it would be is it would be a jar and a cup on one side, and I would purposely spill some of the cold water, so I'd have to be outside for less time and finish the drink sooner. And I really regret that, of not spending that quality time with my father.
It might seem a little as something small, but I regret not having a first dance at my wedding with my dad. I think about it constantly, and I wish we could have had that moment, because that is, at home, we used to be silly together and just put music and dance, and I felt like it would have been a great moment to share in one of the most special days of my life.
We did a lot of fishing trips together. He would take us fishing very often, myself and my brothers. He was at my wedding. He didn't attend the dedication of any of my kids, because that happened here, and he lives in another country. So I would have liked if he was there for the dedication of my 3 kids.
What he didn't do. Sure. In hindsight, I think that we would all do things a little differently. My father was a strong man, very disciplined. It was difficult for him to show his emotions. So growing up, I would only, I would only get a kiss or an embrace. Sorry. You'll get to edit this. I would only get a kiss or embrace when my birthday came around. But as he aged, the Lord touched him. He softened my father's heart. He became a very loving man. So, in his later years, every time we would meet, we would hug. We would hug and we would kiss. And so I urge all of you to hug your parents. Men, hug your fathers. Kiss your fathers. It is God's will. It's biblical. Hug your children. Hug your friends. Hug your brothers and sisters in Christ. It'll be a blessing to you and to others. God made us social human beings.
Well, my father already passed away. I wish I could have spent more time with him, but that didn't happen because he was in the Philippines and I'm here in Miami. But I used to get to talk to him every night. So at 9 in the evening for me and 9 in the morning for him, that's his routine, calling all his children. So I got to speak with him, but I just wish that I was able to hug him before he passed away.
Probably the fact that I don't think I really truly understood my dad until I got older. The older I got, the smarter he would seem to me. But there were a few years there, adolescence and then young adulthood, and you think you're very smart. And then it's funny how life catches up with you, or maybe you catch up with life, and then you realize that, that man is very, very smart. There's a certain wisdom. So I guess in a roundabout kind of way, maybe a regret is not having appreciated his intelligence or his wisdom my entire life. I think I could have gained a lot from that.
Probably being a bratty teenager. I was really bratty, starting 13, 14, and he would take me consistently on dates where it would just be him and me, and I could pick what we wanted to do. And there were times that I was just I would, just cross my arms and look out the window, and he's taking me on a date. How many girls get to experience that with their father? And I was just bratty. So I definitely regret that.
I wanted to spend more time with him, to tell him I love him.
There were some times that I wish I could have done more with my dad. Of course, it made it hard with him being gone so much. We couldn't do anything during the week because he was gone, or maybe he would come home. We would already be in bed, and so it made it hard for us to be with him, to interact with him during the week, and it was usually on the weekends, and even that was kind of far. It was kind of in between, as it was. The time was very limited for us.
For me, it would be spending more time when I was younger, because as a teen you want to be as far away from your parents as possible. You want to hang out with your friends. But looking back, I wish I would have spent more time with him.
Buy him the house that he wanted. I became a pastor. He was the one that told me to go into the computer field because we lived in the South Bronx in a 1-bedroom apartment. So he always told me, I want you to be better than me, I want you to get an education, and I want you to, don't worry about money. I want you to be able to provide. And you know, it'd be nice if you buy me a house. No, he never said that. But for me, it would have been nice if I would have gifted him with a house. But I'm a pastor.
My wishes, man, just live 1,000 more years, please. No, I think like my wish for my dad is that he continues to be the humble man that he is, and that he continues to be that great example for me and many others. Wherever he walks in the room, people love him, and so to continue to show that love through hugs and kisses as he does.
I want to wish my dad a great Father's Day. I miss you. They live currently in Puerto Rico, and I wish we could be closer because we have so much fun together, and I miss having your support nearby, and I want to wish you the greatest Father's Day, and I want you to know that you have always been there and have always supported me no matter what, and I appreciate that greatly.
You know, I know he's at peace now, and you know, if he were alive today, I'd really want to give him a really big hug, a really big thank you for being such a supportive father, such a provider for his entire family, and just always encouraging us to do the best we can and be the best that we can. So just give him a big happy Father's Day if he were alive. Yeah.
If he were alive today, he thankfully lived to the ripe old age of 92. I would tell him, thank you for the example that you set for us. Thank you for the sacrifice that you made for us, because having you as a biological father made me think of our Heavenly Father. And so thank you, Dad, and I wish you could be here now, that I could give you one last hug.
Dad, I love you and thank you for being a good example to your children, and I hope to see you very soon.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A wish would probably be being more open about our feelings. You know, I don't know about different cultures, but the Latin culture, the Latinos are very, especially a couple of generations back, we didn't open up about our feelings. We didn't talk about our feelings. You know, if you're a man, just shut up. If you love somebody, you shut up about it. You really don't share that. So, you know, if I could go back in time, I would probably be more open about my feelings towards him than I was. You know, that would probably be something I would like to do, maybe someday.
I wish that God would continue to give you ideas like a gumball machine has gumballs.
Happy Father's Day. I love you, Father. I love you, my dad. You are the best.
Dad, I wish you the best Father's Day that you can get. Wish we could have spent more time together, but I know that you did the best you could with the situation that you were under and that we were under. So I wish you a great Father's Day, and I look forward to calling you again on Friday nights like I do.
Dad, happy Father's Day. I love you. You know, I wish you the best, and I hope that God has many more years ahead for you. For everything that you do, thank you.
My wish for all the dads is to understand that, man, time flies. And the moment that you have with your children is very precious, but it's like sand. You try to hold sand, or better yet, try to hold water. You can't. And so if you're thinking that you have tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, tomorrow's not promised to anyone. And so, like right now, I wish I can go back in time. I would do a lot of things differently with my kids. But my father modeled that for me. He made the time for us. And so that's my wish for you fathers. Make the time, lead your children spiritually. Happy Father's Day.